Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about something in a way of saying pushing yourself through a challenge. But I don't want it to be a challenge such as going for some exercise or doing some running or some walking or some biking or some scootering or some, I don't know what else to say in there. But a challenge of when I just keep watching simple videos of people talking about how they love their dogs and how much they respect their dogs, there's a thing that I see a lot of people do that I don't think most folks are looking at the challenge that's actually happening in your face. I just see a whole lot of people that are always, the word I want to use is smothering, but just hugging all on and just holding the dog down and just kind of not giving it a choice, but holding it and kissing it and looking at it in a sense of like, oh, my dog loves me, so I can do this to the dog. But I'm going to say almost like 99 out of 100 of these videos that I see, I'm not looking at the human because I don't believe that that's the issue that people have. You're looking at the human. You're not looking at the dog. I'm looking at the dog and the dog is just looking like, I don't want to have to deal with this. Why are you challenging me? Why are you putting all this pressure on me? Why are you forcing me to basically, because straight up, like when I just watch dogs play, what's the only time that a dog holds the dog down? When they're actually, like I said, holding or hugging, which we can say is what's going on. Is when a dog is standing over another dog. He's, in a sense, challenging that dog, saying, hey, like, I'm the boss, man. You just listen to what it is that I'm telling you to say. And some dogs they'll just submit and fold and accept that challenge. But the thing I believe that starts to happen is day after day after day after day, week after month, the dog finally says, I'm done with you challenging me like this. And I just want to be able to like have my way. Stop forcing me to do this and allow me to just be able to be. So basically, like, get your hands off me. And someone might say, no, that's not really a challenge. The dog's not challenged. I'm not challenging my dog by holding it. But if the dog doesn't want what it is that you're doing to it, I don't care what you want. If the dog doesn't want what it is that you're doing, and you're constantly doing it over and over again, you're forcing that dog to do something that it's not comfortable with. And if you just keep doing that and that dog starts to get super uncomfortable, he's gonna do something that's gonna look crazy, such as snap at you, such as bark at you, show teeth at you, growl at you. It always starts with the subtle little signs of they get stiff and they freeze. And then it starts to turn into something greater and greater and greater because you're not understanding that freeze that he's saying to get off of me. This is why stuff that my first go-to, I'm gonna say this again in this video, my first go-to to figure out what's going on with you and your dog, you're struggling with them. Figuring out what's going on with you and basically anything in life, and you're struggling with it, stop touching it. Stop smothering it. Like almost distance yourself a little bit from it so that you can figure out exactly what's going on here. I mean, this is, don't take this the wrong way, but this is like stuff even with your spouse and everything else in reality. Because, wait, girl, let me get my leash back. Ugh. Because sometimes you're having issues because you're smothering each other, and you're putting too much on there, too much expectations where the other person and the other dog and the other everything in reality is just not really caring for what it is that you're doing. And you could be able to get a little break session in there and just leave each other alone to figure out like, okay, where are we gonna go now? To see if a lot of the issues in reality will just go away, or is it still just the same? Because I don't know what it is. There's something that I personally do with dogs. I stopped touching them. I stopped talking to them. I stopped even interacting with them. And I basically just put it on the dog to come to me. You come find me. When you want something, you come find me. I'm not gonna put myself on you. I see the dog sleep, I just leave the dog there. I see the dog just relaxing, I just leave the dog there. I don't walk up to the dog even. I don't approach the dog. I just move. Because again, dogs aren't dumb. If they gotta go to the bathroom and they're in the house, I don't really need to go get the dog. I'm just gonna go to the door and the dog is gonna come to me to the door. And then the dogs are gonna make a decision, okay, I got my chance to be able to go out now, to be able to do what I need to do. But it's something that I just see transforms when you just, I guess the main thing is say, take the pressure away and stop trying to make something be what you want it to be without knowing that if they would like that or not. Because I've got, well, like I say, my parent, he likes to be touched. He's very strange, but I still question it because he just stands there kind of frozen. But he doesn't move, he doesn't push, he doesn't do anything. So I don't touch the dude. And this Dalmatian, she's the only weird one. You gotta like keep petting her. If you just hold your hand, I watch that she starts to freeze up and she gets extremely uncomfortable, as if I'm like trying to hold her down. But if I keep petting her and just keep my hand moving, She's perfectly fine with that. But I only figured all this stuff out by just leaving them alone and kind of having like a restart. Because if I'm forcing myself upon something, I'm going to run into a situation that I may be disrespecting that other partner in a way that I didn't really think I was, because I was just going off of what I want. And that's the kind of the big theme, I believe, behind everything that I'm going to always keep talking about in life is don't assume and don't perceive that what it is that's around you, like, straight up, that's a good word to use, likes you, even cares about you. It may be there just because it's there, not because it's really like, I don't want to use that word, but madly in love with you. It may just be there to be there. And it never really had a chance to say, love you, appreciate you, because you never gave it a choice. You just smothered yourself on it. And when you smother yourself on something, it's not gonna have a choice at all, but to just not really be able to explain what it is, what it likes, and what it doesn't like. You're just putting on it what you want. And that's the part of that I guess I could say that selfish me, little boy, little girl syndrome that's in a lot of us. We're not really growing up out of that. And we're actually double down in and making it worse in a way. And worse in a way that we're not really, that's, to me personally, that's why a lot of said relationships and stuff are struggling today. Because we're not focused on that other person, that other being, that other anything. It's just us. And you really start to realize what someone is and what something is when you start to, because the biggest thing is, this is why me and dog training kind of clashed today, because you have to take that control away. Once you take that control away, now it's on the choice of if they want to be with you or not. It's their option. I grew up with so much control that, straight up, I don't really want to even care to be around most of my family in reality, because once the control is gone, I'm kind of just like, I want to go over here. I just want to do my own thing. And that's kind of what I see with a lot of folks with your dogs, especially me. Oh my goodness, 2 of my dogs for sure. When I just relaxed, I really saw how much they really didn't give a crap about me at all. I was just forcing my will on them. I was telling them, you got this and you better that. And you don't have no choice. You better listen to me. I'm not giving you an option. And when I started to let that go, and I seen that the dog just basically like wanted nothing to do with me, I then allowed the dog to be able to just really understand who I am as well, without forcing it to be me. So it could study me and understand me. And then once they start to study me and understand me, then there's like, okay, I see what's going on here. I'll be able to work with you now at this moment, because you're not making me do it, but you're allowing me to do it because I want to do it. This is the part that just, I don't know what it is. I keep seeing this with a lot of people and your dogs. It doesn't actually want to be with you. That's why you can't simply just come here and just off leash the dog and just let the dog be. Because once you do that, the dog's not going to come back to you because it doesn't want to be near you. And it's not even in a sense that there's something more exciting, because still, dogs will chase, but they typically don't go 18 miles away. And if it doesn't come back at all, that dog clearly just is making a big, huge statement to you. If you're in the park and you're sitting here, come here 18 times, and you're chasing the dog and going through all this, that dog just, it doesn't really want you. You're forcing it to be there. And when you're forcing it to be there, you're gonna be struggling every day with that animal and not allowing it to just be able to be there because it's choosing to. It just has it in itself that's what I desire. This is a big thing that I got going on with even like my Great Pyrenees right now. Granted, they are typical dogs that, all my neighbors, we all struggle with them. That's why no one keeps them for long, because they're always trying to go somewhere. They don't want to just stay put. But for me, I'm kind of taking that in a sense of maybe they don't want to stay put because they're just not satisfied with where they're at. And I need to figure out how to be able to, say, give the dog more of what it's looking for so that it just wants to be comfortable and wants to stay. But I think the problem with them I don't live on enough land. We need, like, people that I know have lots of land. They don't really need to fence the dogs or do anything. But I've been putting so much control on him of, man, the dude used to live in chicken coops and everything. He's just always kind of locked up. Once I let him be free, he's like, man, skip this. I'm gone. I'm leaving. And it's really interesting. And that's how all my dogs at the house are. I don't worry at all about a dog that's going to just run off and leave. This dog here, she sometimes busts open my little gate thing because I don't lock anything. and she just walks outside by herself, but she never goes anywhere past like 10, 15 feet from the front or from the front patio. She just stays there because it's in her best interest to just be here. I'm not forcing her to be with me. She's chose to stay with me and be with me. I didn't put her on my will on. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna just control you. I'm just gonna smother you. I'm gonna force you this. I said, girl, if you don't want. I've said this out loud to all of my dogs. Straight up, I look them dead in the eye, and I said, if you don't want to be here, then go. Just leave. Just leave. If you don't want to be here, it's your choice. If you want to be here, then be here. You want the food, you want the shelter, you want the water, you want running, you want exercise. I'll give everything that you need. But if you don't want to be here, just get out of here. And it made me have to really have a deep dive of if all I'm doing is forcing it to be with me, then I'm going to keep on battling with it, as opposed to just letting all that go and seeing what's actually real. Because what's real is being able to just take your dog anywhere, knowing that it's going to stay with you, knowing that anytime that it starts to get all excited, it's going to stop and be able to listen to what it is that you're saying, because it's choosing to want to be with you because of who you are and what you're being to it. And it's something that is just, I think, messing up today is we're smothering these dogs. Not everybody, but just some folks that I see that I know simply just stop touching your dog for a while. You'll watch your dog get better. Like just simply if you would just stop doing it. And especially if you're like holding it, you're like giving it hugs and stuff, and you're crouching down and just holding the dog. If you would just simply stop doing that, I bet you would see like things just in days and days and weeks just get weirdly better and better. That the dog is just gonna like finally relax down and just have a chance to just say, hey, you know, I didn't really like that. And I didn't really want to tell you not to do it because the dog just said submit it. But a lot of people run into a situation, Ophi, come on. A lot of people run into a situation that some dogs will basically fight that back. So that's where you're going to get disobedience somewhere else because you're being disrespectful to the dog. So the dog is going to disrespect you. It's like, why should I listen to you? I'm going to go chase that squirrel right now because you're disrespecting that dog by doing something that it's saying, hey, you know, I'm telling you to stop doing this and you're not listening to me. It's a matter of being able to work back and forth with each other and not just working at each other. You got to do stuff with each other and not forcing each other to do stuff with you because it's already enough. It's already enough. This is the part that we can easily get an open line of communication with a dog is. It's already enough for us to have to keep it on a leash. It's already enough that we have to just, we got to walk them like this. It's already enough. It's already enough that they don't just get to be able to have hundreds of acres to run around on and be able to do what they want. It's already enough that they're not able to just run the streets of downtown Austin and just be free as all heck could be. It's already enough that we're doing that to them. And if we're doing more and more and holding them down and holding them down and pushing them down and pushing them down, the more and more that we keep doing that, the worse and worse that we're using too much force with the already force that we're putting them on and making them stay with us. And that's something that is just, what's up, girl? It's something that is just really interesting when I'm just sitting out here watching. Hi. Sitting out here watching. What lap you on? One. One and final. Oh, okay. Sitting up here, putting all these rules and things that are just a little bit too much, that the dogs are just running into a case of just as if they're just in this small little box and they just can't express themselves and be themselves. And when you're not able to express yourself, you're in a reality kind of dangerous situation, because you may have an outburst in you of one day that just says, I got to let this out. And that's where some of y'all is running into that problem with those dogs, that you're like, everything was good, because this is stuff. I haven't ran into many people lately that's been having problems. All my work today has been dog to dog fighting in homes. It's just like I don't know what it is that's going on with that in my world right now. But usually I'm always getting the same type stuff. So before dog to dog fighting, I was always dealing with dogs that he was perfectly fine for years, 2 or 3 years. Usually it's like that third year, the dog is perfectly fine. You know, it was listening to me. Everything seemed to be all right. And then one day the dog just started snapping at me, just started showing teeth at me and started growling at me. Won't allow me to be able to walk and get near it. It just starts to growl, giving me a little grumble. And I'm like, every time I see that, I always would see, come on, girl. I know you a little tired today. We just we just ran 10 miles. So this is what this dog looks like after we just did a 10-mile run. She's very, very, very mellow. And we're still walking a little while out, so we'll walk another 2 miles. But she's like, she's gonna go home and sleep for about 8 hours. Dang. Especially when I do this every single day, she can't keep up. It's weird that, I don't know, that's part of me that I got a little frustrated. Sorry, I get half off topic, just seeing how just the only thing I say right now is just how satisfied this dog is right now. She's just like, when she gets that run in, she's just happy as all heck can be. It's still weird that I can outrun these dogs. Like, I can get them tired that I can't get myself that same tired. I gotta run every day. These guys, if I run them every day, they just start to like basically fall apart. Because today, so we've been doing every day. This is my sixth day straight right now, I think. And she's done. Like, she's gonna need like 2 or 3 days of rest. Where I could just keep going every single day. It's very weird that these dogs are not as powerful as in reality I thought that they were. I thought that they could just go 100 miles a day, no problems, just make it happen. That's just not the case. But back on topic, the main thing I would always say to people is stop touching the dog. And it is, in reality, I believe, one of the hardest things for most everybody to do that's in that situation. Because you're like getting some sort of comfort from it. And you're getting some sort of comfort from, in reality, discomfort. And this is the part that, when you get deep into some hardcore psychological stuff of like, especially like, what do you call it, dark manipulation, that's essentially what's going on, is you're actually getting joy from making something feel uncomfortable. And it gets addictive, because that's where that bond comes in. It starts to be very, very negative. You get addicted to just hurting somebody or something. And even though you're not, purposely trying to, it's just something that goes on that's just unfortunate thing with just in us as humans. Hi. It's just in us. As much as everyone's like, I'm so perfect, I'm so righteous, we got some evil in us. Every single human being on this planet, we got some bad stuff inside of us. And if we don't want to accept that, in reality, you're just gonna kind of keep struggling. But when you finally just can accept that and start to look at your world and say, hey, what am I doing out in this world that is just straight up like evil, wrong, mean, malicious, vindictive, just ruthless? And then you'll start to adjust to be able to get a better understanding of what to do next. But if you're just blindly saying, oh, I give my dog a hug and he likes it. Oh, I just keep doing this to the dog and he likes it. I keep doing this to my husband and he likes it. He may not like it. He may be very, very, very disappointed, very just broken and beaten down because of what it is that's going on. And the moment that you finally just recognize that and see that, you'll start to see change. But a lot of times, for whatever reason, the main thing that I just really, really know about folks, most of us, we don't want to change. I don't even gonna put myself in we in that anymore, because that's not me at all anymore. I'm definitely want to change into being something completely different, of understanding that I've done some crazy stuff in my life and I no longer want to keep going down into that route. And it's really, really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. It really is. It's really hard to stop doing something that you've been doing. It's just really hard. I don't know why. And that's almost like just a life lesson of the stuff that a lot of channels I watch are always challenging, the concept of being alive and why we're here in this place of just suffering. Because in reality, that is all this lands are. Everything is just surviving just to hopefully make it another day. And it is tricky, but it's like the more that you just understand that you are living in that, the better and easier that it starts to get. And knowing that it's never going to be perfect, and never just everything is good to go. You finally got that job and everything's great. No, you're still going to struggle. You finally got that girl. Now you're just going to be satisfied. No, you're still going to struggle. I finally got that dog trained and everything is good now. No, you are still going to struggle. You're still going to struggle. You're still going to have issues, still going to have problems. You're still going to be in a negative light of what's next, basically, because it's the unfortunate thing of just how everything on this planet is. It wants more. It wants to get what's next. Something that I would just say is, I think that a lot of y'all are challenging your dogs, and your dog don't like it. Some dogs are cool with it, but a lot aren't. And it's something new that I noticed that a lot of people do today, is holding these dogs. No longer just like petting it and just giving it a couple little touches on its head. It's like you want to hold the dog for 8 hours straight all day. You want the dog to be in your lap and sitting with you all day. You know, granted, I have to challenge this with, or say this with smaller dogs. I think that they like that. I don't know why. But I'm talking these dogs that are 20 pounds and above. There's something weird that happens to them. And even some of the small dogs, but especially a lot of the bigger dogs. I don't think they really like to be held down like that for hours and hours a day. There's something starts to go on in them that it's like, it's just starts to become negative. Thank you. Ophi, we got at least another mile to get back, or a mile and a half. And you looking pretty tired. This dang dog is just the coolest dog. She's such a interesting dog. The camera got crooked. I changed the setting so I can't do that angle anymore. But it's just super fascinating to constantly keep pushing myself and pushing her more and more and seeing what comes from it. Like things only just keep getting better and better for both of us in reality. But it takes getting up and doing. Something that I'm not scared, nervous, and worried of anymore. We all get that I'm tired, I don't want to do it today feeling. And on that time when you feel that, that's the time that you have to do it even more. The time that you're like, I'm tired. You just keep going a little bit more. Go a little bit more. I'm tired, I don't want to change. I want to keep doing this. Just go a little bit more. And see what happens from it.